So I've had some questions about Cardano tech and if the tech is in fact dated, if there are other techs out there that are making steps forward like DAG models. And I want to have just a little discussion about this. Now, this might absolutely bore some people, but I think it's important to know. All right. No, Cardano tech is not dated. It's not really done this way anywhere else in the space. One of the biggest advancements that's been taking place lately is DAG, direct acyclic graph, right? And with this model, it's essentially infinitely scalable. All right. Each new node that's added to the network increases that scalability. Now, UTXO model, which is what Cardano uses with Ouroboros, it's very different in the way that it functions. All right. It has expandable blocks. There's different things that can be done from a network standpoint to make those blocks handle more transactions, to basically put essentially batches together of individual transactions, right? And it kind of makes the network scalable in that way. Now, obviously, there are other things that are being done to make Cardano more scalable. Hydra, side chains, things like that. And I think that's important. A lot of people, they just focus on the main chain. They think that that's the only thing that needs to be scalable and blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't really make sense. You got to look at the individual needs of different launches, protocols, businesses, things like that, right? You need to have essentially an ecosystem being built, which is what Cardano is doing. When you look at something like DAG models, don't get me wrong. I love DAG. I think it's fast. I think it's scalable. But the problem is you can only get so big until you get to a point where centralization is essentially required, right? There's always so many people that want to run a node. And the problem is if you hit that point in terms of load and scalability, you need to create more nodes. Those nodes are essentially going to be created by the same entities. And then you start to have larger and larger and larger centralization, which you don't get in the UTXO model or Ouroboros with Cardano. That's where you start to sacrifice possible security. There's possible concerns that come there, right? That's why I think DAG is good. I think it's good to a point though. All right. And this isn't a dog on DAG networks or anything like that. They're just two very different ways of doing things. And right now, some of these other models are sustainable. Straight TPMS, like something like Solana, Ethereum's not really sustainable, but then you get some DAG models out there and they're fine now. But when you get to this point where you actually have true load on the network, remember, this is nothing compared to what we'll see years down the road as we enter mass adoption, as we enter enterprise adoption, as we have government adoption. There's a lot of things that are going to put a much higher load on these networks. And really the only one that I believe is building a sustainable model that allows these entities to have control, have complete security without dealing with centralization is Cardano. That's probably the best way I can explain it. Unfortunately, some people, they look at the here and now, right? They look at these other networks and they say, oh yeah, they're faster. They're going to pass Cardano, blah, 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 blah. That's not going to be the case when you get to times of major, true network use and adoption. We get to 10% of the world, 15, 20% of the world utilizing crypto and blockchain tech. That's where things are going to get really weird. I think that is going to be the telling moment of whether Cardano outdoes other chains or not. And unfortunately, right now, again, a lot of people are very short-sighted in this regard. They don't think about the bigger, broader picture down the road and the kinds of demands that are going to come from the crypto space. We're gonna heavily evolve from now to 5 years from now to 10 years from now. Crypto is evolving. The last 13 years, you look back, I don't think anybody would think that crypto would be what it is now. And remember, technological advancements, they do increase over time. So obviously you always run the possibility of even more advanced tech or something maybe even better coming down the road that I don't want to say dates Cardano, right? But I would say that there has been a very good foresight when it comes to the Cardano ecosystem and the things that have taken place and the building that's being done. And they've essentially been one step ahead of the game. Really, the big thing we just need to see now is adoption. Adoption, use, daily active user increases, right? And those things can come. I think this is a cycle where that happens. I think this is a good test for the Cardano network. And we'll obviously see how things look down the road. So again, hopefully I didn't bore anybody. I wanted to just have a little bit bigger, broader discussion about this, but the future will be very telling. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but hope you have a great day. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.